Welcome to our special series, 8 Lessons About Money, the Psychology of Money. We're about to embark on a journey that'll change the way you think about wealth, success, and personal finance. Did you know that money, at its core, is about emotion and psychology more than it is about numbers? Morgan Housel, in his groundbreaking book, shares insights that are not just eye-opening, but also rarely talked about. Like this gem, doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. That's going to be our guiding light in this series. But here's the catch. We're not just talking tips and tricks. We're diving deep into the psychology behind our financial decisions. Why? Because understanding the why behind the what can be the key to unlocking true financial freedom. So, if you're ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about money, hit that subscribe button and join me on this enlightening journey. Lesson 1. Wealth is what you don't see. You know, when we talk about wealth, it's easy to picture the flashy stuff, those shiny cars, mega mansions, and designer labels. But here's a twist. Real wealth, it's actually invisible. It's the money you don't see because it hasn't been spent. Morgan Housel, in his insightful book, puts it brilliantly. Wealth is the nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the watches not worn, the clothes forgone, and the first-class upgrade declined. Wealth is financial assets that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. This lesson is a game changer. It's about understanding that true wealth is about saving and investing, not just spending. It's about having assets that grow over time, quietly working for you in the background. Think about it. The richest person in the room isn't the one with the most expensive watch. Often, it's the person who has mastered the art of restraint. Housel says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. So, the first big lesson here is to redefine wealth. Wealth isn't about what you spend, but what you save and invest. It's about the financial security that doesn't need to be flaunted. Lesson 2. The role of luck and risk. You see, in finance, luck and risk are like two sides of the same coin, and they're more influential than you might think. Housel makes an important point. Luck and risk are siblings. They are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. Here's the thing. Many of our financial successes and failures can actually be traced back to random chance. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you believe in the self-made myth. But acknowledging the role of luck, both good and bad, is crucial. Housel gives us a dose of reality with, history is only interesting because nothing is inevitable. This means that despite all our plans and strategies, there's always an element of uncertainty. But don't get me wrong, this isn't about downplaying hard work or skill. It's about having a balanced view. Recognize that while you can control your actions, you can't control all the outcomes. Risk, on the other hand, reminds us that what works well today might not work tomorrow. As Housel says, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. So the lesson here? Embrace humility. Understand that luck and risk are always at play. This perspective will make you more resilient and adaptable in your financial journey. And remember, as Housel puts it, good investing isn't necessarily about earning the highest returns, because the highest returns tend to be one-off hits that can't be repeated. It's about earning pretty good returns that you can stick with, and which can be repeated for the longest period of time. Lesson 3. The Seduction of Pessimism. You know, there's something about pessimism that just seems smart. It's like we're wired to think that if someone is predicting doom and gloom, they must be seeing something we don't. Morgan Housel hits the nail on the head when he says, pessimism isn't just more common than optimism. It also sounds smarter. It's intellectually captivating and paid more attention than the optimistic view. But here's the twist. Being overly pessimistic can blind us. It can make us miss out on opportunities and fail to capitalize on positive trends. It's like walking through a garden and only seeing the weeds. Housel gives us a reality check with optimism sounds like a sales pitch. Pessimism sounds like someone trying to help you. But remember, The biggest fortunes and the greatest innovations often come from betting on progress and positivity. History shows us that, over the long term, things tend to improve. Think about it. Over the past century, despite wars, recessions, and crises, the global economy has grown tremendously. So the lesson here is not to get seduced by pessimism. It's about finding a balance. Be cautious, but also be open to the potential for things to get better. As Housel advises, be optimistic about the future, but cautious about how you navigate it. Lesson 4. The influence of hidden incentives. Incentives. They're the invisible forces that shape much of our financial behavior, yet they're often overlooked. Housel points out, the most important stories about the economy are less about supply and demand, and more about people's behaviors driven by the incentives they have. What's crucial here is understanding not just your own incentives, but also those of others around you. This includes your financial advisor, your broker, even the companies you invest in. Everyone has an agenda, and it's not always aligned with yours. For instance, did you know that many financial advisors are paid commissions based on the products they sell you? This can sometimes lead to a conflict of interest. Housel reminds us, incentives are the strongest force in the world of money. Understanding these hidden drivers can save you from many financial pitfalls. The takeaway? Always ask, what's in it for them? When you understand the incentives at play, you make better, more informed decisions. So, in this lesson, we've uncovered the subtle yet powerful role of incentives in our financial lives. Remember, it's not just about the numbers, it's about understanding the motivations behind the numbers. Lesson 5. The importance of being reasonable over rational. Now, when it comes to money, we often hear about being rational. But Morgan Housel offers a different perspective. He says rationality is great, but it's often a fight against human nature and is therefore unsustainable for most people. That's pretty eye-opening, isn't it? Being reasonable, on the other hand, means understanding your own behavior, biases, and the real-world environment. It's about what works for you in your financial life. Let's think about it. A perfectly rational plan might suggest you save 50% of your income, but is that reasonable for most people? Probably not. Life isn't just numbers and data. It's about balancing dreams, responsibilities, and limitations. Housel gives you a reality check. Personal finance is more personal than it is financy. This means that your financial decisions should fit your life, not just a spreadsheet. Here's an interesting fact. Studies have shown that people who are too strict with their savings end up breaking their own rules more often. It's about finding a sustainable middle ground. So, what's the big lesson here? It's about being reasonable with your finances. Understand yourself, your habits, and your needs. As Housel says, what works for you is more important than what's theoretically optimal. Lesson 6. The power of compounding. Compounding isn't just a financial concept, it's a life concept. Housel puts it beautifully. Compounding is the force of nature where small, smart choices add up to massive differences over time. And he's absolutely right. We often hear about compounding in the context of investment returns, but it's also about skills, relationships, and learning. Small, consistent efforts can lead to incredible outcomes over time. Here's a fact that blows my mind. If you invested just $5 a day from age 25 to 65 at a 7% annual return, you'd end up with nearly $380,000. That's the power of compounding at work. But compounding isn't just about money. Think about learning a new skill. Practicing just a little bit every day can turn you into an expert over years. Housel drives home the point. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. This is a reminder that in our fast-paced world, the biggest rewards often come from playing the long game. So remember, whether it's your savings, your skills, or your relationships, give them time to grow. As Housel says, it's not just about making good decisions, but about consistently not screwing up. Lesson 7. The need for humility in finance. In Lesson 7, Morgan Housel drives home an essential point. Finance is complex and unpredictable. He says, The finance world is filled with brilliant people who are always wrong. This isn't to dismiss expertise, but to remind us that no one has all the answers. Humility in finance is about acknowledging what you don't know. It's realizing that the market can be a humbling beast. For instance, did you know that even the best investment professionals often struggle to outperform the market consistently over long periods? Here's a striking fact. According to some studies, around 80% of actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark indices over a 15-year period. That's a testament to the unpredictable nature of the markets. Housel advises, be skeptical of both your own knowledge and experts' predictions. This isn't about doubting everything. It's about keeping an open mind and being ready to adapt. So the takeaway here, stay humble with your finances. Understand that the market can throw curveballs, and even the best-laid plans might need adjustment. Lesson 8. The difference between being rich and being wealthy. Morgan Housel offers a profound insight into this topic. He suggests, richness is buying the biggest house. Wealth is having the freedom to not worry about the mortgage. This statement captures the essence of what it truly means to be wealthy. It's interesting to note that research indicates happiness correlates with income up to a certain point, like around $75,000 per year. But beyond that, more money doesn't necessarily mean more happiness. This highlights that true wealth isn't just a figure in your bank account. Housel emphasizes that wealth is less about the external display of money and more about the internal peace and freedom it provides. It's the unseen assets that offer you choices and flexibility in life. So, our final and perhaps most profound lesson from the psychology of money is this. Aim not merely for the accumulation of money, but for the security, freedom, and peace of mind that comes with genuine wealth. As we wrap up, I can't help but reflect on Morgan Housel's profound words. Money is a tool for getting what you want, but when it becomes the goal itself, you're stuck on a treadmill. This series was all about understanding that deeper essence of money and wealth. Now, I'm curious, which lesson resonated with you the most? Was there a particular insight that made you rethink your approach to money? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and insights. And if you found this series enlightening, don't stop here. Check out our other videos, where we dive into more fascinating topics about life, success, and personal growth. Your next favorite video might just be a click away. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Remember, the road to financial wisdom is ongoing, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that could change your life. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.